Welcome to Behind the Model, a show diving into the virtual world and exploring its stories with the VTubers who lead the way. Flare and Umbre aren't just a couple of VTubers who stream with each other regularly. Together, they are the Mythic duo. Partners in life and partners in the virtual world, they have long created content as their hobby, helping bring them closer together and build one of streaming's more interesting communities. Flare and Umbre, welcome to Behind the Model.
Hello, welcome. I don't know why I said welcome. I'm sorry, just having guests on our show. Hi.
Yeah, no, it's different.
We huddled around the campfire now, or are we in the studio? Yeah.
Welcome to your room. I'm taking over now. It's mine now.
I tell you what,
We're
this is the coziest the room has ever been. I've never had this many models on one screen, and trying to fit them all into the studio has been rather difficult, I guess. But we've made it work.
It's getting kind of crowded in here. Umbre, you're making it crowded in here.
Oh.
Umbre. I'm just kidding.
Gotta go, I guess. Oh my god.
Umbre, please. Okay. You're making this awkward. No, I'm just okay.
To dive straight into it, I guess. The names Flare and Umbre, there's a Pokemon connection there, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
When we started streaming, we were actually live cam streamers. It started off with Umbre being the main streamer, and at the time she was known as Tiny Umbreon Girl. That's actually what the channel was called as well. And I took one day for myself, and I thought of myself as her sidekick, and I called myself Flareon Lad. And for about 2 years, we ran with that name. We eventually adapted into the EV0, in which we actually, when we went to our VTuber models, we actually even adapted that as well. We were loosely based off of, and Flareon and an Umbreon. Obviously, eventually that was not going to fly, and so we decided to move on, evolve from, Pokemon term there, evolve from the EV0 into the Mythic duo, and we are now a Phoenix and a Kitsune. But we kept our nicknames that people used to call us, because it made it a lot easier for the transition, and it's also just
Honestly, it
weird
just fit.
calling us a new.
Yeah.
So so Flare and Umbre, because Nintendo doesn't own Flare and Umbre. So.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You are ungovernable.
Yeah, those are okay.
Do the nicknames bleed into real life now as well? Like in terms of calling yourselves around the house?
It definitely does.
Sometimes.
A little bit. Like sometimes I have to think for a second if I call her by her real name outside of streaming, or if I call her Umbre. And sometimes, like, even when she's not live, she'll I guess she starts getting into the mindset, and she'll say Flare, and I'm like, no one's watching right now.
I mean, it's like sometimes if I'm in a voice chat with somebody, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the first time that I've had like a nickname that's bled over. Before I was a VTuber, and I guess we can get into this even more later, I was in the indie wrestling scene, and I had the name Ustalo, which means scorched. I was the Phoenix Ustalo, which is why I'm a Phoenix now also.
Yeah.
And I still have, very rarely to this day, but sometimes people will pop into my chat and they'll be like, Usti, and I'm like, oh, you know those names.
You're from that area of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh my god.
I guess like it would be funny to because you've had the transition between like the real life streaming with the face cam, and then you've gone to like the Pokemon inspired PNGs, and now you've got the VTuber models. You would have that kind of era of, oh, these are the nicknames that I had in those eras, and you can kind of date the people in your chat and date the people in your community by the nicknames they use.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god.
What prompted all of the transition?
Well, do you mean just into VTubers?
I guess, well, like the jump from face cam to kind of the more Pokemon inspired stuff, because that was a little bit different again, and then now straight into like the completely OC models.
I don't know. Do you want to say something first?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I had always like seen them VTubers before, and I always thought they were like so cool and so pretty. Like honestly, that's why I kind of wanted to be a VTuber. I was like, oh my god, this looks fun. You know, it's very different. You don't have to show yourself. You know, yeah.
Okay, so that part, no, definitely is important. No. I don't even no. But I do have a story from the beginning, so that's
Go
so
ahead.
It adds on to it.
I understand.
So okay, so when I met Umbre, actually, roughly around 9 years ago, we've been dating for 7, been friends for 9. When I met her about 9 years ago, it was on a video game called Warframe. And that's basically, if you don't know what Warframe is, it's basically Space Ninjas, free-to-play MMO, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, when I was just playing some games with randoms, I was just like, you know, playing by myself, and somebody popped into the lobby. You know, they'll just put in random people, and one person was named Umbreon Girl.
Oh yeah, this is dated. This is dated. Oh my god.
And so this Umbreon Girl, kept seeing that I kept falling down because I was playing a new character, and so he wasn't leveled up or anything like that. So I kept falling down in the mission, and she kept reviving me. And afterwards, I said, "Hey, I have some free keys to get special items or whatever like that. Would you want to join me?" And she brought along her, at that point, boyfriend at the time. And so, you know, we became friends from there. 2 years later, things didn't work out, and we obviously became a thing. Anyways, how does this all relate? So, she was always Umbreon Girl. She was always Umbreon Girl, and I will be honest, a part of me always has loved entertainment. As I've said that I've done web series, I've done wrestling, I've done, you know, now streaming. It's just something that I always enjoy entertaining. And so I was like, I kind of push a little bit because she always talks when gaming. And I think that's like the perfect thing to be as a streamer. Like, you just naturally talk all the time. And so I was like, you know, you'd be amazing as a streamer. And then so I started pushing her a little bit because she already had a Twitch, but she didn't really use it that often. And so then she started actually taking it more seriously. And then in order to, I feel like what made her more comfortable is still being herself, being the Umbreon Girl, which at the time, actually, I believe it was actually Umbreon Girl 1994 at the time. And then we eventually
that is such like a mid 2000s, early 2010s kind of username.
I know, right? Oh my god. Everybody out here like put your birth year on the end of your name. Like, yep, that literally is.
And then so that's how she went to Tiny Umbreon Girl. And although my favorite Pokemon being Cyndaquil, I didn't want to say Umbreon Girl and Cyndaquil lad. No, I wanted to be in a thing. So I said, you know what? I love fire. Fire has always been my element. If there's an element, you know, given to you, it was fire for me. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna be Flareon lad then. And so that's how that all started. And it was fun doing the.
Oh yeah.
It was fun being streamers, even the cam streamers. It was fun, but I felt like.
I mean, I literally have clips of me like, you know, dancing with a body pillow and like dancing with the cats and all that.
Yeah,
those are still there. We still have them.
Yeah. That pop up sometimes.
Yeah.
I even still have my first ever stream as a clip still on there that I just refuse to delete. But anyways, I guess you could say a part of it was that we really loved the idea of being comfortable, being able to do whatever we want. You know, it's not like I can flap wings in real life, unfortunately, you know, and like, you know, be able to be a little more creative, a little more. You can just literally move your model everywhere. There's a lot more freedom with the movement. But in addition, sometimes you gotta have to try out something different. Einstein says, you know, the definition of an insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and, you know, expecting different results. And we, for the first 2 years, only had, we grew our channel to 1.4K followers, which, you know, isn't nothing to sneeze at, but it took us 2 years to get to that point. Meanwhile, after we changed, we started being more socializing. We actually went on Twitter. We actually built up our Twitter, our TikTok, started building up our YouTube. After that, our first year of VTubing, we actually jumped up from 1.4K to about
was it like
Yeah,
4 or 5.
about 4K
Yeah.
at that point, and now we're like 6.7.
We're about to. Yeah, we're getting there to 7.
So yeah, so changing things up, trying
Learning
new
how to
things,
do
and
social
being in
media.
a very comfortable community, even if the community does have its occasional problems. It's nothing that we can't handle or deal with or whatever, and we're perfectly and honestly happy.
Yeah.
Able to do this.
Yeah, no.
I guess.
Honestly,
Oh, you go.
oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say for you, Umbre, because it was originally you were the streamer and it was your project and your kind of hobby. What was it like bringing Flair along and opening it up to the both of you?
I used to stream almost like every day, and then he had like that one day which was like a Friday, and then he was like, I want more days, and I was like, okay, I mean, that gives me time to like, do my own thing then. But then there was those sometimes where I was just like, Flair's taken over. Flair has taken over.
I enjoy entertaining, but I never thought of myself as entertaining enough to make it as a streamer. So I wanted to like be a part of her channel. And then what happened was that right around then, that was 2019, and then around 2020 in the beginning, Pokemon Sword and Shield was really hot.
Was that 2019?
Yes, it was 2019.
Oh, wow.
It feels so long ago.
Yeah, I was like,
I was in the same like, really? That feels like forever ago.
We all looked at each other like,
it was 2019.
what?
It just hit 4 years like a month ago. So yeah. It was 2019, and
I stressed off my back.
Around Pokemon Sword and Shield just came out near the end of that, so it was actually getting really hot in 2020, and I discovered with a friend how to do shiny den hunting. And what that means is that you basically have the ability to conjure up shiny Pokemon or stuff.
Oh, you can guarantee a shiny.
There's rare colored Pokemon that you can only find, 1 out of however many thousand that you can randomly stumble upon.
Yep.
And I knew how to basically create them, but in a legitimate way. And then people can jump in and they can catch it. And so it's not like I'm cheating in the Pokemon or whatever. It's just learning how to find the code where they would spawn in and then forwarding to that day in a sense.
Yep.
And anyways, so that jumped us up by a lot. And at a certain point we were discussing, we were like, okay, well, do we want to keep as a unit, or do we want to try to separate our channels? Just so we have 2 separate channels, because I know plenty of people who have their own separate stream channels.
Yeah. Not a lot of people do duos. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
So it kind of came down to, we didn't want to split our audience. We felt like it would split the audience, and it just like, I don't know, it just didn't make much sense.
Yeah, because they were like, our audience is just very used to both of us, like, just always being, like, even if we don't stream together every day, because, like, a lot of times we do swap off, because, before this, obviously, even before VNet came out, we had to use those browser sources, and our computer just really did not like doing that, so it was just a lot of for it to handle. So, but I feel like our audience would have felt very weird about us just being like, oh, we're on different channels now. And it's, I don't know. Yeah, it'd be weird. It would be very, very weird if we like split.
Especially because you've grown the audience together, right?
Yeah.
For so long.
Yeah. It's like they always know, like, if Flair is streaming, I'm usually in the background, bugging him or something.
Yeah. So even though there's like you've got the designated, the rota of like, oh yes, I stream on this day, like Flair streams on this day, Umbre streams on that day. It's not like completely solo streams. You're always lingering. It's like the duo is still always there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like even if our model is like not up there, you'll always hear like a disembodied voice in the background.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll be streaming and people will be like, is Umbre okay? Is she
streaming? Oh no.
Oh.
I'll literally be playing like, some like Overwatch or like Dead by Daylight. And they'll be like, she sounds angry. No, I'm not. I'm a very talky gamer. As we have found out. One sec. Sorry. Yeah, there we go.
Better?
The models was like, yeah, all better.
Yeah, one of the challenges.
One of the downsides is sharing a computer desk. Yeah, a computer like a desk, and having to run 2 models at the same time.
Sometimes
One of the
our
phones wants to die.
Yeah.
Just fall
Since
off.
it is-
Die out of battery, or die as fall off the desk and fall off.
Yeah.
Oh, battery.
Yep.
Yeah. 'Cause, you know, the VTube Studio app, it does kind of, you know, eat battery. So sometimes
Yeah.
you do have to plug your phone in just to kind of sustain it for a little bit.
Before it told us it's like 20% left, and while that happens, my model's just like
Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know
Like
just
that.
Like, wow. Good timing, right?
I cannot relate. I use webcam streaming. I use the webcam tracking.
The phone, real good.
I know it is. I just don't have it set up.
No, I get that.
Yeah, we used to do that actually. We when we got
a part of
halfway through our like first V2 models, we got the like with the iPhone tracking.
Yeah.
Well, she already had an iPhone.
Oh yeah, I already had an iPhone.
Though.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very useful. I mean, it reads the model very well.
It adds like the extra bounciness to it. But the because I was saying how you'll always hear me in the background. They'll always ask like, "Hey, is she okay?" And like, yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm a talky gamer. And that is why Blair always was like, "I think you'd be a good streamer. You just sit there and talk." Like I'll literally either be playing by myself or playing with people, and I'm just sitting there talk.
Sometimes and I feel bad about doing this, but sometimes like she'll be playing with her friends and you'll have her headphones on and she won't realize how loud she's getting,
I'm
and I can't even hear
sorry.
myself over her, and I just look back for a second, and then she just looks at me, and then she just quiets down.
She knows. She knows.
She's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just like usually I'll have like at least like one of the headphones off my ear,
Yeah.
but it happens. It literally does where it's just you don't expect it. Like
Why
at all.
yeah. I guess being a duo as a VTuber as well and sharing the same channel but with like slightly different stream schedules where one might be the focal point and then the next day will be the other. Is there a challenge there in being compared to one another in your community?
A lot. It happens. It happens. And I know it happens with other duos as well. It does for sure. Like I will have people come in and be like, "Umbre's so cute. I like Umbre more than Flare," and I'm like, "Why are you even like? Why? Why do you gotta do that? Don't do that. Don't put him down." It happens. It's a very real thing. Like a lot of people in our community don't really do that because they know it like upsets us. But if it's like say like a new person coming in, it does happen quite a lot.
It's one of the challenges of being a duo.
Very much so.
Honestly, because you know it's perfectly okay to have like a streamer
a favorite,
that you prefer or that you enjoy coming to and watching more, and then to know that
and then
that
just put you down
streamer,
right after.
you know, is swapped or whatever like that. We have plenty of people who come in the first time and then they'll come in the next time and they'll be like, "Oh, this must be the other member or something like that." Like they didn't expect me or something like that. And I'll say it does. It probably
does sting.
It probably does hurt us a little bit in that sense, but at the same time, I wouldn't
trade it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Honestly,
trade
it makes our channel very
and
unique.
we've seen plenty, or well, I don't know plenty, but we've seen a couple of duo VTubers actually hit like the partner mark and stuff like that, and so I believe that.
I believe we could
that
do
we'll
it.
be able to do it eventually. It might take us a little bit longer because it's not the usual. You get used to that one person, and so you only can you know who you're coming to watch or whatever, unless you memorize our schedules or if you like us both or whatever. But yeah.
Do you feel like you can then provide like kind of like different content for different personalities, and it's kind of like you've got this like how like a TV channel would have different programming on different days. You've kind of got that going on a little bit, right?
Yeah,
we do. Kind of like we used to like state it more into our channel, but it was more of a Like Flair would mostly play like Nintendo games, as where I'd play like more like PlayStation and like it's kind of in like FPSs and all that. Whereas Flair plays like cozy games, adventure story stuff. It really much is like a different stuff, different person. Very much so.
Yeah. I always thought it was really funny because I kind of discovered it recently that we're kind of like Team Rocket in a sense.
Oh yeah.
So,
we actually did the monologue at one point.
Yeah, in a sense, we have the goofy guy, attractive girl, and then we have the little.
If it loads, there it is. Our little
Meow.
mascot. I hope it loaded for you.
I don't think it has. I'll just embed it over the
Oh, no.
video. Oh wait, no, I can see it now. I can see it now. There we go.
Oh, yeah. There
It's,
you go.
I can see the object there.
Our little friend
Yeah.
Eve.
That's just their little
Their
cheese
ball form.
Yeah, they do have a normal form, but that's their little squish form.
Yep.
Nice
yeah,
to attach to the head.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was always just I mean they can also they're usually on my shoulder also whenever I have them in that form as well. But yeah. I don't know. I thought it was funny because I mentioned that. I'm like, wow, I never thought about it this way. But
And then we did the monologue,
yeah.
and then I was like, oh god, that's scary.
well, yeah. Because I was like, wow, yeah, we're kind of like Team Rocket. It's got the goofy guy, the gremlin but attractive girl, and then the little mascot.
How dare you?
For I guess all of this kind of streaming stuff, right? It was like you kind of like pushed Umbre into it, like with like the motivation to be like, hey, you'd be really good as a streamer. Why didn't? And you mentioned like you didn't feel like you're entertaining enough to start with, but now you're here and with a decent amount of airtime. Umbre, do you still kind of see this project as being yours, or is it kind of like shared
no,
now?
this is shared. Oh, this has been shared. Honestly, it's kind of nice to not always have to worry about things.
I'm
gonna be real. It's been kind of nice not having to worry about it all for myself.
Yeah.
It has to be shared.
It was more.
Also. I did a for reasons I had a lot of time, an extra time on my hand, and so I decided to do one of those uncapped subathons.
Oh
Except
god.
the way I did it is that I would do it instead of a full day or whatever. I'd do 12-hour streams every day until the timer ran. I never had been more exhausted.
Streaming
my
every day. I don't know how
used
people
to
do it.
Giving breaks and letting Umbre take over, and it's just it's a lot. And right now I'm so used to just doing the
3 days.
3 days a week, and she does the 2, and sometimes.
Well, I now have 3 because we share a day now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We do share now. But now we both have 3.
So it is. I don't know how people that stream almost every single day of the week do it. So yeah, having him as like the other person that takes like up half of the streaming.
I'm a buffer.
Yeah.
So Umbre is still like here, the main thing. Flair is the sidekick still.
How dare! How dare!
You called yourself the buffer.
Well, no, I was just spilling out what she was trying to like around here.
You were picking up what I was putting down?
Yes, I was putting down what you're picking up.
Oh my! No, not again! Yeah, he did that. he keeps coming back.
I'll always consider myself like the sidekick, even if people like.
Even if he's the main person.
Obviously, people see us as equals and stuff like that. Stream, and stuff like that. But I mean, I always try to promote her as much as possible whenever she's going live, or if I feel like there's not. Like, if views are low of the day or something like that, I try to, promote her even more and be like, hey guys, stop in, say hello. She's got booba.
He's too nice to me. He's too nice to me.
I like how she said that right after I said she's got booba. Be mad at me, okay?
We've gone from the tears to now the I'm not talking to you anymore.
But from tears to you're sleeping on the couch.
No, he would enjoy that.
The couch is comfy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very comfy.
Actually, I also have a comfy couch. Not that I've actually slept on it yet, but you know, I get that feeling.
When you share a bed with
4 cats,
a fiance and 4 cats, couch sometimes feels very nice.
That's the other half of our content is our cats.
How has streaming, I guess, impacted your relationship and how you see each other?
Well, sometimes I see her as a kitsune. I know no one believes me, but sometimes she's got really big ears, and other times she's got small ears. It freaks me out sometimes.
You're so weird.
I just want to put this on the record. So like for this show Behind the Model, I put in like we do like pre-interviews for this, and this is breaking the fourth wall for the audience. And I distinctly remember in the pre-interview how quiet Flair was compared to Umbre, and boom, as soon as we started recording, Flair is like all over it with all the jokes and stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
You live for the camera.
That's the thing. That's what's really funny is that off stream, off camera, whatever like that.
He's a very quiet person.
I'm a quiet person.
Yeah.
I just don't like that's. I just want to relax. Like, and it's funny because what was it? We went to go. I have a relative in another state, and I have a mod who lived in that same state. And when I went to go visit them, that mod's fiance was like, "Flair, are you okay?" And my mod's like, "Oh no, he's fine.
He's just like this."
This is off stream, and I'm just like,
you're conserving the energy.
I don't know. I just like, yeah. I mean, I just like to be quiet and with my own thoughts sometimes. And then whenever I'm just talking, I to be a little bit more proactive, more on, if you would.
Yeah.
I'm not changing my personality. I'm just
because then he's gonna look back, you know, when we watch the video. He's gonna be like, "Oh man, I was like so quiet." So.
Well, if Flair sees you Umbre as a kitsune, do you then see him as a phoenix in real life as well?
Yeah, he's a little chicken man.
The chicken man.
He's a little chicken man.
Little chicken man.
With lemon pepper wings.
Stop it! I keep saying it's sweet and sour. Lemon pepper.
Sweet and sour does match the color, so.
But lemon pepper. I'll never let it go. I'll never let it go. I mean, but I guess it's kind of like a job, so it's kind of like once you're off the job, our lives are pretty like normal, you know. Even though, you know, our lives are, you know, going to work, playing video games, you know, making dinner, you know, all that stuff. You know, the other part is, you know, streaming. So it's just very like implemented into our lives.
Honestly, I think that streaming has been good.
Oh, I think it's brought us closer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Because like when you know, when we're not streaming, you know, she has her friends that she likes to game with. And I don't always play the games that she plays. She plays a lot of Overwatch, Dead by Daylight, stuff like that. It's not games I usually play. And so she's got her own friends, some friends from where she used to live, some friends that she's made online, and she just like plays with them and, you know, chats it up and, you know, stays up all hours of the night, whatever, doing that, and
jumps into bed way too late.
Sometimes, yeah. And then I'll just do my own thing, like I'll be watching like anime or Kamen Rider or in my own games or whatever like that. And yeah, we'll share interest with some games, and we do share interest with a lot of other aspects of life. But the fact that we're a team on streaming and that we are part of each other's lives in this situation does absolutely, I think, help a lot in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're able to, like, it's not like, you know, oh, I'm just streaming and she doesn't understand what I just went through or something like that. And then, you know, she's like, oh, like, you didn't do anything. All you did was, you know, stream. And I'm like,
or like,
obviously.
You didn't do the chores.
Yeah.
Shakes
like
fist.
Got to share the workload.
Because, you know, I'm also gonna probably not be doing anything and playing video games, so I don't care. I'll get you about the chores later when I'm starting the chores. I think it has it's been good.
I mean, again, we've been together for 7 years, and 4 of those years we've been.
Yeah, so it's been a big portion of our relationship.
Yeah, but it's not like, you know, anything is bad when, you know, beforehand. Like the first 3 years were awesome as well. It's just that like it does give us something to, an activity to do.
Yeah,
together,
something
in a
for us to
sense.
actually do together.
Yeah. And it's like almost on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's like you can set aside the time for each other, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, all right, Flair, you have fun. I'm doing my own thing now. Bye.
And I know that we mentioned it at the top, and we're wrapping things up, so I think it would be remiss to not mention it. Flair, your wrestling background. Tell us about it, how you got into it, and I guess how it has shaped you guys. Well, you personally as a VTuber, and whether it's also rubbed off onto Umbre a little bit.
He's coming into the ring. Woo 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 woo.
I wish you could see what she just did, because like her arms aren't moving, but she just flailed.
Oh, I'm expecting the fist pumps in the air.
Yeah.
I leaned over and everything too.
You know, like that gremlin pose where you have like the. It's not like
You're
a
like
cheese
hunched
pose,
over
but,
and you're like,
you're hunched
"Ah."
over with your two like gorilla like. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
What you just did.
Yeah, nah.
I
Umbre
hate you had to
respect.
describe it.
I think,
Thank you.
I think it's rather funny. Every time I bring up the wrestling thing, everyone's like, "We'll go back to that," and then we just never do. So.
But no,
okay,
you came
so-
back to it.
Yeah.
You came back to it. So okay, so let's see. Since we're wrapping up, I'll try not to make this too long. But basically,
too late.
in 2015, I had a friend who also liked wrestling, and he went to a school where somebody invited him, saying, "Hey, you know, do you want to be part of my wrestling
This sounds sketchy.
group or whatever?"
Oh my god.
Yeah, it sounded very sketchy. And he's like, "Hey, you know, I told him about you and everything like that. It'd be really cool to have you come along." And so I said, "Sure, why not?" So I came along. I was with my friends, so I felt comfortable enough. And in the beginning, I'll be honest, it was a little bit what you're not expecting, because it was like wrestling shows, YouTube, everything like that, but on a trampoline. And it wasn't
like a ring.
It wasn't in an actual ring yet at the time. It was all trampoline wrestling. It was a giant trampoline, not one of those circle ones. Like it was this giant rectangular ring.
Oh, with the springs and everything. Yeah.
And the
Oh
springs
my
and everything.
god. that's
And
weird.
we did like the most crazy of stuff, because you know you could do like, flips and stuff like that.
You do so
whatever,
much.
right?
That sounds.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, that sounds ridiculously fun.
It was ridiculously fun.
Man.
And then we'd have like the fake ropes or whatever like that, just think of like an actual ring. And like we had an actual YouTube following. Anyway, so it turned out that it wasn't just this company that did this. There was a bunch of others. There was one in Pennsylvania.
It's a very
there was
big
one in North
scene.
Carolina. There was one in Maryland. There was one.
Wasn't there? Yeah, you said
I
Virginia, right? North Carolina and all that. They're like all over the place.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So we started going to like doing was like crossovers between other shows, and some of them had trampolines, and then there were some of them who actually had actual
Like
rings.
actual, yeah.
And so it started going. We started meshing with those, and we actually started getting into the actual ring business and actually going up there. So I went upstate New York, because that's where I'm from, New York. And
Just think of really, really big collabs.
And I would, yeah, exactly. And we would go there, and then eventually it kind of just moved into like this indie. It's just like knowing people kind of stuff like that.
Yep.
And so it eventually kind of merged into like an indie scene. They started getting well known, and when I say well known, I'm talking about like somewhere between like 3,000 to 5,000 followers on YouTube. So not like tremendously,
But it's like different companies.
still,
Some companies were
still,
much more popular, obviously.
Yeah. And yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Flair was busy every weekend for that. Oh my god.
Did you
Yeah,
get to like watch some Umbre?
Oh yeah, I actually participated in one
She
at one
was
point.
actually my manager.
I kicked the
for a couple
dude.
shows.
I did a high kick.
She did a high kick.
I did. Yeah. Was it Inferno casket match?
She doesn't know much about wrestling, but she knows from what I watch and what I do and whatever like that.
Mm.
But yes, it was an
Oh,
Inferno
yeah.
casket match. No, she's right with that. Basically, I don't know if you ever watched WWE or like
No.
that, or
No,
at least
I'm not in
No.
that space whatsoever.
That's okay.
Have you at least heard of the Undertaker?
I have, yes.
Okay, so
I'm not that uncultured.
well, at least you know the Undertaker. So there was a character in one of the shows. He was kind of like the Undertaker.
He
of
gave that
scene.
vibe.
Yeah.
And he only lost like a handful of times. He's won every other match. And I faced him in.
And you
what
were
I
supposed to
wanted
win
be
that.
An Inferno casket match, and that's the day that I learned what gasoline does to an open fire. So I put him into the casket. Right, we had a big match. Umbre helped distract him when I finished him off, and then put him in the casket. Locked it up. Went to pour
Obviously,
gasoline
there's
on it,
safety.
whatever
Like,
that,
he could roll out.
and set it
Obviously.
ablaze. Yeah, it was safe. It was all safe. It was all safe. It wasn't stupid. Like, there was an actual escape thing, so he could get out before I set it ablaze. Anyways, so I set it, and the fire wasn't going high enough, so I took the gasoline can.
Literally
and
while
I
it was on
threw
fire.
it onto it, in which I did not realize that the fire leapt from the casket into the bucket,
Yep.
setting myself on fire temporarily, in which I stopped, dropped, and rolled all the way down
works,
this
guys,
little
it
hill
works.
that was nearby, because it was outdoors, because again, fire. And yeah, that's just always this.
Oh yeah. So if you ever do get it on fire, definitely stop,
Yeah.
drop, and roll. It does work.
It does
But,
work, and also just don't pour gasoline on an open
Do that.
flame.
Yeah, there's gonna be like a little like warning. Do not do this.
There is a reason why they have no smoking signs at gas stations.
Yeah. Oh my god. No,
But,
it's real. It's
So
real.
some
Yeah.
of my friends from the onto the pro scene, some of them went
Yeah,
to
some of them
AEW
did.
and stuff like that.
Like
which is,
actual like on
All Elite
pay-per-views like
Wrestling.
TV.
All Elite Wrestling,
Yeah.
which is a competitor against WWE.
Yeah.
Anyways, and eventually, the reason why this whole phased out was because I started doing streaming, and it wasn't because of streaming.
And
that it
COVID
phased out.
kind
But what
of.
happened was
Yeah.
is that we were setting ourselves up, like, because I was part of a tag
Yeah.
team, and we were about to set ourselves up for a tag team title, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's kind of where it
and
like.
for some
that ended.
reason, they decided to keep going.
When it was in like the peak of
I
COVID.
felt
Yeah.
very, very uncomfortable. I even had, unfortunately, a friend pass away. So I was very uncomfortable with it. And they just kept going. And I was telling them that, hey, like,
It's still like
why are we
bad.
doing this?
Why?
Kind
Yeah.
of stuff like that. And they just kept going, and we lost our opportunity. And then eventually they kicked us out of the groups because I wasn't coming to the shows anymore because I was waiting on a vaccine or something.
Yeah.
And then at that point, by the time it all came to fruition, I was just like, you know what?
It's
for
probably
this,
yeah.
I'm putting a lot of money into this, and this is the way I'm getting treated. I'm just gonna stop, and I'm gonna do the thing that I find more enjoyable and something that's gonna cost me a lot less money, which again was before VTubing.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does that stack up now?
Yeah. I mean, overall, this is a good investment. No.
Yeah,
As where
I mean,
he had to pay for a table to be broken.
I mean, yeah. I had to pay for the table that would be broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this was a good investment because at least even though we paid for our models and that was a little
We're not
pricey,
setting this ablaze or
but
breaking it in half.
at least we made our money back, over the 4 years.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
So
So yeah, so that's how that all happened.
I mean,
but
there's wrestling, definitely you can see like his entertainment side from that into his streaming. You can definitely see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always enjoyed making people laugh and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
even if I was playing the tough guy or playing the heel, which is the villain,
Mm.
because there's the heel and the faces. Even if I was playing the heel, I still wanted to make people laugh. Like,
Oh,
I would,
yeah.
I would do stupid stuff and stuff like that, or say stupid stuff in the ring. Whenever getting hit with a move, I'm like, that hurt, something like that, or
Mm.
something stupid, and people would just laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Flair's wrestling
I mean,
career.
there's a lot.
And
There's a lot
more.
stories,
That's a whole other like
Oh, there
kettle
is.
of fish.
There
there's
is.
a whole lot more stories of a lot more stupider stuff that I've done in the wrestling business, but I'm not.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if we have a lot of time for that.
Yeah.
Like the time I accidentally backflipped off. Well, not accidentally. I backflipped off of a ladder into a ring, and I didn't flip all the way through. So
Oh yeah, he never.
almost killed myself there.
Don't do this at home. Oh my god.
Yeah, you know that little marker, don't do this stuff at home. Well,
You ignored that and you almost paid the
This is
consequences.
done by a trained professional, not really.
I practiced on a trampoline. I was able to do it. Then I tried it in, outside of a trampoline, and I was like, well, can't do this anymore. Now I have this fear in
Yeah, now his body like literally is like has a fear of it.
Yeah, my body won't listen to my mind. It'll just like stiffen up.
Mm.
So that's fun.
Well, Flair and Umbre, it's been a joy to hear all of your stories and the wild ways that streaming as a duo kind of works. So I really appreciate you coming on to Behind the Model. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm so glad to have you here on my show.
Yeah. I know. Oh my
Yeah, as
God.
we decided at the start, it is actually Flair's show now.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, I have to leave. I forgot. I'll see you guys later.
Let's do Umbre.
I gotta go.
Good scene.
Oh. No, I got stuck. Okay, I can't actually leave. The door's closed. The door is closed.
You're
I
trapped
cannot reach the door handle.
Always healthy.
Flair and Umbre are the latest guests on my series Behind the Model, diving into the stars who make VTubing the creative medium we love. If you're interested in more of the Mythic Duo's story, you can read the accompanying article linked in the description. You can also find all of their social media channels below. If you liked this episode, really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed while you're down there, and leave a comment if you have any feedback as well. I always read them. Until next time, thank you.